Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the next instalment of Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing here from Phoenix Raceway. Welcome to everyone from Australia, New Zealand, around the world. Thank you for joining us. Joining us in the box here is Peter Gratton. How are you tonight, Peter?
Well, mate, how was your weekend? And welcome to all the viewers.
Mate, my weekend was amazing, apart from today going and doing some fishing with my partner in the kayak and getting bogged. But apart from that, it's sensational, mate. How was yours?
It was very well, mate. I was actually watching a bit of NASCAR on this track here. It's going to be a good night tonight, Aidan. And yeah, it's good to be back here at Weekend Warriors on Saturday night.
Definitely is. Absolute pleasure to be a part of the Sim Shed Broadcasting Network, being able to bring all the action to you from Phoenix Raceway tonight on Weekend Warriors for the Cactus 350. Before we get into it, they're currently at the end of their practice session now, and we've got something a little bit special in the next couple of minutes for you, the viewers. But before we get into it, we will go through a little bit of detail here with the Phoenix track. So for you guys that don't know, they're at home. As we see there, we bring up, it is a 2.43 kilometre circuit. It's going to be 145 laps tonight with a total race distance of 352, just over 352 kilometres in distance. They do have a fuel restriction of 57 litres. They do have 2 to 3 pit stops that they'll have to do depending on cautions, depending on their fuel burn. You do see their fuel burn 0.09 litres per lap there, but under caution that may change. They do have 4 sets of tyres, including the set they're starting on, so only 3 changes. We are the 8th of May 2021. Race start is at 7:45. The current air temp tonight is 26 degrees with a track temp of 29 degrees Celsius. The wind speed of 18 kilometres an hour in a southwesterly direction. But a little bit more on the track is it's a tri-oval located in Avondale, Arizona, and it was actually opened in 1964 and currently hosts 2 NASCAR weekends annually. So a really, really cool track to race at. They do have a 42,000 people seating capacity, etc. So it's a really, really fun track to race. But it looks like we've got 5 minutes left in practice here. So, Peter, do you want to add anything on that before we bring something special to the viewers?
I will just quickly, Aidan, that what I've seen on track so far today, there's been a few guys in and out of the sessions that have been up on the service. That's it's a tricky track, a very tricky track to navigate around, and these guys have done a good job. And I'm excited to see what a full field of racing competitors are going to do tonight.
Yeah, definitely a really tricky track here. Tyre wear is going to be key, etc. But guys, we've got none other than Billy Hickey in the booth at the moment, and he's going to take you guys around on 2 laps of ISM Raceway from Phoenix, Arizona. Billy, have you got a copy there, mate?
Yeah, I've got a copy, Aidan. Thank you.
No worries, mate. We'll take the viewers on a couple of laps of Phoenix and talk them through it.
Awesome. So I'll just exit pit lane here. Now, the thing is with pit exit on fresh tyres, when they're green, you can obviously slip and slide. And this is quite a dangerous pit exit because it blends in right where you're allowed to cut down on the apron. And personally, I'm actually not a big fan of cutting the apron. I don't believe in it too much. But a lot of people like to do it. And, well, it's within the rules, so you're allowed to. We'll just avoid this carnage here. So I've done a few tweaks to the setup with the steering offset and ratio and things like that to make life a bit easier, along with the brake bias. And what you're looking for is just sort of sitting low to mid. And when you come up to the wall, I like to be right next to the wall, where if I was sitting still, I could reach out the passenger door and slap the top of the wall. So you want to come up there, and when you're coming into corners like this, you want to be on the brake until you get about halfway through, and then ease back onto the throttle in that last half. And you're almost back to full throttle as you get up to the wall. Don't nudge it like I did just there. But this is one of the very few tracks that we brake at, so tyre temps are going to be high because of that. And the attrition's really high here, but the track's rubbing in nicely, guys, so it's going to be very racy.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you for the insight there for the viewers at home. Thank you for allowing yourself to be available to create that for the viewers at home. So we wish you all from the broadcast booth here, we wish you all the best tonight, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the race in the top 3.
Oh, that's always the goal, mate. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
No worries. You too, mate. So there we go. That was Billy Hickey there from Meridian Motorsport, taking you for a lap there around Phoenix Raceway before we get into qualifying. Okay, guys, so we're not far off the end of practice at the moment before we go into qualifying. We're about 4 minutes to go, so sit in there, buckle those belts in and get ready for qualifying. We've got a really, really good grid tonight at the moment in practice, rather. Darren Mckenzie leads the top of the timesheets. We've got Josh Micklemore from Mitch Motorsports in second, with Dave Douglas from Mark 1 Esports, was actually the winner last night in another series, which was really good for David Douglas. P4, David Duran from the United States of America. He was really good in the last one that I commentated with Zach there for the Anzac round. It was amazing to see an American there to be able to be a part of the broadcast. Stevie Williams, I'll call him a dark horse, but he's not a dark horse at all. He'll be there at the end of this one. He'll just keep going around. He's there in P5. Michael Schroeder there doing a great job for Mark 1 Esports as well. Teammate with David Douglas up there in P6 with a 27.38. Terry Marwood from EFT Racing in P7 with a 27.47. As you can see, guys, the times are really tight at the top. It sort of drops off. It's an amazing... Oh, as we see Micklemore just go to the top there in practice with a 26.99. Billy Hickey, who we just went on board with, is currently sitting in P8. And we have Greg Spencer in P9 from Activity Hub Barley Racing. And rounding out your top 10 from, and I can never pronounce this, I've asked Paul a million times. I do stuff with him all the times and great mates with him. But Adiora, I'm going to say it, but he'll correct me on this, no doubt, after the broadcast racing. He is in P10. Peter?
It's going to be one of them races, I think, where we want to see green racing. I think 100% certainty on cautions here tonight. Hopefully not too many, as Billy pointed out in his lap, and he actually did hit one of them walls. So I think he's not going to be the only one here tonight to do that. And we also spoke with Mark off air before, Aidan, and he said that you just got to be there at the end. The last 10 laps is where it's going to really pick up, although it's going to be entertaining right throughout. It sounds like, I think you said, Aidan, in the intro, 145 laps. It sounds like it's going to be a long night, but they're going to get through these laps really quickly, as 26.99 is the top time in practice.
Yeah, they definitely will, Peter, but you're going to see those times drop off in the race for probably 3 seconds a lap, I'd say, once they settle down on the tyres. So probably around about those 30-second lap times, depending what the guys have got dialed in on their setup. This is a fixed setup race, so everyone is running the same, but you do get to change your steering ratio, your offset, your brake bias, all those different things. So they're going to become factors tonight as we go into the final minute of practice here, and we got Josh Micklemore at the top still with a 26.99 as we're on board with him there, and it looks like that's the end of his practice session. He's come in and he's parked the car, Peter.
He's doing a really good job, and it's interesting as well, just touching on another tip that Billy said, that you can actually, it's within the rules to cut a couple of these corners, but he doesn't like it. So let's see if he joins into the train. I'm not too sure. We didn't have that many people in the practice sessions early today to see what the cars behave when they get into a train. So the draft around here, I'm not too sure. Aidan, you're the pro, and you know a lot about the oval. Is it a train race? Will you get behind someone, and is it, do you work in partners as most cup car races?
Around Phoenix, Peter, definitely not. It's not a slipstream or train type of race. It's all going to be being able to keep the car under you for a long period of time. There's a lot of braking going on around here. A lot of, like, your first initial input in the steering wheel is really important, because that's where you get tyre wear, as we're about to go into qualifying. But we'll let them do that as we finish our conversation. Definitely not a slipstream race at all. So this is all going to be about tyre wear, managing the car. Cautions are going to play a really big part on where they're going to come in. We did say they got 4 sets of tyres, including the set of tyres that they start on. But if we do go green for long periods here, it's going to be who's going to be able to hold on to that front right and right rear the longest. So as we're in here in qualifying, I'm going to quickly make a shout out before we get excited in the last couple of minutes of qualifying to all our sponsors tonight. And of course, a big thank you to SimShed Broadcasting for bringing all these beautiful images to you guys here at home and for allowing us to be a part of the broadcast. And we're just the voice. They are bringing you all these images. Overlays are provided by SDK Gaming, cameras by Track Cams for Gourmets, short shift sim racing, rather, if I put my teeth in. Short shift sim racing magazine by Dylan Stove, actually, who races a lot of Cup car, NASCAR stuff around, is a part of the series as well. So we thank you guys so much for being a part of it, as we are now seeing Josh Micklemore just mirror his time there in practice in it with a 26.95 going to the top. Peter, you take him through the rest of qualifying.
He's doing very well. He's, like you said, he's mirrored his time at 26.95 and 27.47 for Billy Hickey there, as he took us for a brilliant lap around this track. And just touching on, you plugged there to Short Shift Sim Magazine. I've actually had a read of that. It's online at the moment, so go check that out. It's a good read. They do a good job doing that. I'm excited to see just how much green racing we're going to get, and if we're going to see any green pit stops, or are we going to get laps upon laps of green racing. I hope so. Everyone wants to see green racing, and only time will tell, I suppose.
Yeah, and we just saw, I believe we're on board there. Is that Dylan Davies, or is that Stevie Williams? No, I believe that's Dylan. But we're on board with Stevie Williams. He got a bit loose there through the corner. Currently up into P3 with a 27.2. Greg Spencer with a really, really solid lap there for Activity Hub Bali in P4 with a 27.46. But a lot of these guys, I know them, I race them a lot. So some of these guys are going to be waiting to the end of the session to be able to set a lap. It might be saying to them from crew chief that as the 24, David Duran just loses it there in qualifying. That's not going to help him. But a lot of these guys, the crew chief does tell you that the track is cooling down, etc. So they might be waiting as Darren Mckenzie comes out now to try and set a lap here in qualifying, Peter.
He's sitting on a 27.19 at the moment, and we all know how quick he is. And it's all about, like you said, being there at the end, the last 10 laps. Kobe Jordan's down in 14th position with a 27 or closer to a 28. But like you said, the times are going to come down, and yeah, it's going to be a good race.
Yeah, and we're on board here with Michael Schroeder from Mark 1 Esports. I'm not sure whether this is going to be his quick lap, but he's currently sitting there in P6, which is really, really good from Michael. I think that, yeah, that's the end of his run there. So looks like that's where he's going to end up. Ruben Phelps, who's recently moved from Mark 1 Esports across to be an independent for RP Motorsports, who used to be my teammate in Mark 1 Esports, is up there in P5 with a 27.22. Dave Douglas, who we got here? So Dave Douglas is there as well in the 199 car up into P7. But ladies and gentlemen, do not take anything out of this qualifying. You can see some people didn't make a really good qualifying lap, but over these long runs, it's okay for Micklemore, Williams, Duran, Phelps, Douglas, etc., to be able to put in a good lap. But we're going to find out, because I have a feeling this is going to go green for a pretty long time to see how they're going to be able to manage their car and who's going to be quicker. So someone might get the jump early, but we could be calling a really good race after 20 or 30 laps if it goes green.
We do see lots of green racing, as Dave Douglas and Schroeder, they both share the same time, 27.26. And the times, I'm looking at the timing board now, and there is not much in it at all, and they're all within thousands. They're not within tenths, they're within thousands, probably about 4 or 5, or probably all the top 10 are super close, and hopefully they stay like that throughout the race and keep their heads on. And yeah, green racing is what we want to see. We are definitely, I think, in my opinion, Aidan, that it's caution or two is pretty much a certainty, but we want to see green race, and I think we will, like you touched on, for quite a considerable amount of time, and hopefully we get to see some green pit stops, so then they can all think about and put their strategy into play.
Yeah, most definitely there, Peter, as they're about to form up on the grid shortly. It's going to be interesting if they do go green for a long period of time with the fuel drop. Who's going to... The tyres aren't really going to be an issue tonight, I don't believe so, if it does go green. So it's probably just going to be on raw pace. But if we do get a couple of cautions, people might try and take the alternate strategy, as we see the guys lining up on the grid there. What a beautiful sight that is from all the images there from SimShed Broadcasting, with Josh Micklemore off the pole. So Josh Micklemore is off the pole with Darren Mckenzie out of P2, Stephen Williams on the inside of the second row in P3, with David Duran on P4. Ruben Phelps, who's still showing us Mark 1 Esports, but he is now RP Motorsports out of P5. Dave Douglas from Mark 1 Esports in 6. Michael Schroeder is Mark 1 Esports in 7. Greg Spencer from Activity Hub Bali out of 8. Billy Hickey, who was on board earlier from Meridian Sim Sports, P9 out of New Zealand. Greg Dale out of P10. Dylan Davies from Davies 1 Toyota in P11, and Reese May from Mayhem Motorsports in 12, Peter.
In 13th and 14th, you've got Kosh and Parry. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to attempt your last name. Sorry, mate, I will get better. And then 15th and 16th, you got Patton and Jordan. Behind them, Ariel and Leg. McClintock, and there's 2 Pattons in there as well. That's Matt in 20th position, Mark Johannesson, league organiser, and Will Yesberg in 21st and 22nd, and Jackson and in 23rd.
And we are green for the Cactus 350 for the Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing here from Phoenix Raceway, and Josh Micklemore has got a great start there over Darren Mckenzie. And we're straight into a yellow, which unfortunately there, Peter, we didn't want one of them, and we might have put the commentator's curse on them as we go back and have a look.
Thanks to simsnap.com iRacing Photography for this replay. Oh, look, did he get help there or just into the wall? The 0-0 car of Mark Johansson. And we're just hearing he did do it on his own. So that's not the start we wanted, Aidan.
Yeah, definitely not. It looked like he wound a little bit too much rear brake bias into that car, and under cold tyres into one where it is a pretty hard braking zone. It looks like that hasn't been a good start for Mark, but hopefully there's not too much damage. You can take the car back to pit lane, get the repairs done, and come out and be back there at the end of the race. As we know, it's a really long race, Peter.
45 laps, where lap 1 caution, they're all going to pace around. Hopefully we only see 1 or 2 laps, and then it's like a restart of the race, mate. We're probably going to see this a couple of times, but they now know what not to do, and hopefully in the next phase of the race we can get a restart and have some nice clean green racing for a little bit of time.
Yeah, most definitely, Peter. And I've just brought Josh Micklemore up into the broadcast booth. Josh, you got a copy there, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate. We thought we were going to have a bit of green flag racing here, and after 1 lap, we've gone into a caution. So not much really to talk about to see how your race is going, but really good in practice, really quick in qualifying again. Feeling comfortable. You got Darren Mckenzie there behind you, who's always there in leagues that you run, etc. Are you feeling pretty confident?
Yeah, feeling pretty confident tonight, mate. Just hopefully get some green flag running, like you said. The car gets pretty loose on exit, but it'll be interesting to see how we go on long run, if we get one.
Yeah, and no one can hear this, so I'm going to ask you, did you make any changes with the steering offset and the ratio, brake bias, etc. during practice and qualifying to be able to create a quick car tonight, or you just ran it standard?
I change everything, mate.
Yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I tried to get it out of him, and of course I wasn't going to. So I tried it. But anyway, Josh, thanks for making yourself available, mate. We'll let you get back in and concentrate on the race, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the broadcast.
Easy done. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
All right, guys, there we go. There's Josh Micklemore, the car 31 from Mitch Motorsports, giving himself up to allow us to be able to talk to him during the broadcast. So thank you so much there, Josh. As we roll around under the pace car, unfortunately, from an early caution. So currently we have Josh Micklemore in first, Darren Mckenzie in second, closely behind him. And in third place there, we have David Duran from the United States of America, Peter.
Yeah, and I'm just having a look on the timing boards. There is a couple of big movers with that. The first lap of green, we got Aguilera Bates, 6, Will Jesberg, 5, Terry Marwood up 5 positions. So there's a few movers in the back. Probably keep an eye out on them, guys, because I think they're going to be fast and lights go out, Aiden, and I'll hand it over to you to call green.
No worries, Peter, as we see the guys stacking and racking them here, ready to go green again here at the Cactus 350 for the Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing Series. Coming to you live here on Sim Shed Broadcasting on a Saturday night as we see Josh Micklemore bring him to the green. We'll watch the pace car come in as we are about to go green. Here we go. We'll watch Josh Micklemore. Is he going to go early? Is he going to wait on the green? They're stacked, they're racked, they go. And Josh Micklemore is going. He's got an amazing jump there on Darren Mckenzie as we go into turn 1 on lap 5 or 6 of this race. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're in lap 6. Just waiting to see that. So Josh has got a good jump. Look out there for Dave Douglas we see there in the Mark 1 Esports car in P5. He'll be someone that's going to get up there at the end of this. Don't write off Dave Douglas. Greg Spencer having an amazing drive for Activity Hub Bali early in this one in P7 in that pink car you see down there. Billy Hickey is managing himself into the top 10, who gave himself up to be able to do that lap with us earlier through practice to show you guys what it was all about of this track. But Josh Mick, it looks like we've just had a big one in the background, and we might have put the commentator's curse on him again there, Peter.
We did hear that in our ears, the driver's chat. Lots of sorries. Just a little bit of a nudge there. So that's another caution. And yeah, that's just unlucky from these guys. Look at that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved in that one, thanks to simsnap.com iRacing photography replay.
Yeah, very unfortunate for those guys there. Hopefully they didn't have too much damage. They can come down to pit lane and get that car fixed. But yeah, we're only 8 laps in. We're already 2 cautions, so hopefully that's not a sign to come for the race. Definitely don't want to see this. We don't want to see people wrecking, but that's oval racing sometimes. People sit there and think it's easy, but it's definitely not.
Definitely not. It's most definitely not. We've got the best seat in the house for like the easiness of it, I suppose, if that's the right wording. But I'll just touch on Aiden. I did notice very quickly after that restart, before we had this caution, that they're very quick to get out of the side-by-side action and get into single file. So that's probably the smarts of the guys on field here tonight. And I think you're going to see it at the restart once we go green again, where they'll file up 2 by 2 and go for the restart, and then all of them jump back in and they go single line astern. So that's quite interesting, and I think they'll just be trying to follow the guy in front of them and make no errors, as we're already in caution number 2, lap 9 of 145.
Yeah, it's definitely not a 2-lane racetrack. You can't run 2-lane all the time. What these guys are going to do, they're going to fall line astern, as you did say, Peter, but what they're going to do, they're going to try and pressure people into a mistake. As soon as they just get that little bit of inkling that they can get up the inside, not so much the outside around here either. It's going to be really hard to make a pass on the outside. So that's why they're going line astern. They're wanting to settle in and see what this race car feels like over a long run. At the moment, we haven't seen the pace of anyone on or what we think is going to happen. So, yeah, settle in, ladies and gentlemen. Strap those belts down. There's a lot to play out yet. Hopefully, we do not go under caution for too much longer. Hopefully, we go green to the end. We all want to see that because we want to see a bit of a strategy game. But we do see Josh Micklemore there in P1. But the most interesting thing that I just saw happen under yellow is Mr. Stephen Williams went into the pits. So I don't know if he got caught up in that or whether he just went in and did a splash and dash for fuel.
Only time will tell. And I was just having a look on the time boards once again, and Terry Marwood has he's up 10 positions already, and Jamie Nankervis up 9 positions. So in and amongst all the, or only the little bit of carnage that we had so far, we've got a couple of drivers down in the field that are they really want to get up there, because up 10 and up 9, and we've really only had a handful of green laps. So, 10 down and 135 to go. So, like you said, strap yourself in. Tonight's going to be hopefully not as stop-start as what it has been. And I think the guys, once again, I think they are learning from this, and they won't want to make the same mistakes too many. As you see them all grid up, they're starting to get side by side, and hopefully we'll be green soon. I think the lights are out.
Yeah, the lights are definitely out on the pace car as we go onto the back straight now, and definitely there that the guys that have made the positions have just made a really good gain on those cautions with those unfortunate incidents for some drivers. But I can confirm that Stevie Williams has come down pit lane and just taken a splash of fuel to top up and hasn't taken tyres. So that's a really interesting strategy for Steve. Obviously, he's there looking at his fuel strategy, and he'll be there at the end. But we're about to go green flag racing for the next round of the Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing at the Cactus 350 from Phoenix Raceway, with Josh Micklemore leading them off the pole, and we are green, with Josh Micklemore making an amazing start there again, with Darren Mckenzie following in turn behind him. Hopefully these guys can get through the first couple of laps here and go line and stern, as you said earlier, Peter. And as we see Greg Spencer, I think he just got up into the wall there. It looked like he did, with Dave Douglas or Michael Schroeder, one of the two down the inside of him. Peter?
On really well, and these front guys up here, and Josh Micklemore's leading them away behind Darren Mckenzie, and they're all line astern once more, lap 13 and 145. The top 5 I'll run through quickly: Micklemore, Mckenzie, Duran. I just gone off my my screen. Sorry, Douglas and Phelps is your top 5. And look at them go. So there's only a handful of them cutting that corner, Aiden, and you're going to see that throughout the broadcast. But hopefully this keeps on going and we stay green to the end. But Schroeder up to 6 now.
Yeah, amazing drive there by Schroeder. Phelps there in P5. The reason they're probably not cutting that corner through the tri-oval down the back straight is sometimes it can hurt your outside front tyre. So they're probably looking at a long stint here, hoping that as they just make me look like a fool and cut down. But with the 27 car there, Parry Anastakis, doing a really good job. I race with Parry a lot in a lot of other leagues. Parry's going to be up there at the end. So this is really good driving now. Hopefully we can settle in here, viewers, and we can have a really, really good race towards the end and see some green flag pit stops. If we do see green flag pit stops, it's really going to help Stephen Williams, who made that strategy call earlier to top up on fuel. So he's going to be able to run longer. Is it going to hurt his tyres? It's about to find out if we do go green flag, Peter.
That's right, and that splash and dash just might help him at the end. And this is good racing from all the guys. As you see, they're starting to get a little bit of space between them, so hopefully we'll go green.
We see someone go into the wall there, Peter. Sorry, I just saw that on my camera or on my screen. Someone just put it right into the wall. I'm sorry to cut you off there, mate.
No, you're right. We're still green. We're still green, so it wasn't enough to bring out another caution, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely good. We don't want another caution as we're on with 69 Reese May at the moment. He's the one that tagged the wall really hard, so this is really going to hurt his car, and it looks like we might be going under caution again. Oh, and Paul Mark Johannesson has brought out the caution again. So we head into the third caution of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Not the way we wanted to start it, but that's oval racing, and it is tricky. So we'll go under caution again, and we'll probably bring you up into another driver's cockpit and have a chat to them shortly and see how they're going, Peter.
We just have a look, see what happened on the replay. Oh, sorry, I missed that. I just looked away. I did miss that. Sorry, Aid. Oh no, we are. I'm not too sure. I'm confused now. I'm sorry, mate.
No worries, mate. Well, we are under caution again. That's right. So I have no other but himself from New Zealand, Ruben Phelps, up in the booth to have a chat under caution here. Ruben, have you got a copy?
How's it going, Aiden?
Yeah, good, Ruben, mate, as I call you, Rubester. We've had a few cautions here early. We're only lap 19 into 145. You're running the Hot Wheels livery tonight for RP Motorsports. How's your night going so far? A little bit early to commentate on it, obviously, or to give us comments on it because we haven't had any green flag running, but how are you feeling behind the car tonight in that Ford Mustang?
I'm pretty surprised on my run because I didn't actually get a chance to do practice, but it made a wee mistake of turn 4 and crossed the line, and suddenly I was 5th, so can't really represent anything on that. But so far, the race-wise, it's going so far okay, but of course a few cautions early, but you expect it around here, especially with the low grip, but no, it's running pretty smoothly at the moment for me.
Yeah, you're going pretty good there. You do have your ex-teammates, which I believe you are actually working with tonight, because we're all friends here in sim racing, let's be honest. Michael Schroeder and Dave Douglas there, so they're going really well as well. But are you looking forward to a bit of green flag racing? We did see a little bit of a strategy from one of the top runners do something different earlier, and I can't really say that as the broadcaster or as the commentator, but are you happy with where you are on strategy at the moment?
Yeah, so far just once we get some green flag pace, green flag laps in and it gets a bit darker, when the grip starts picking up, I think I can at least run with the leaders. But of course, I think at this point, respectively, a top five will definitely be a good day's work for me because I haven't really had too much luck around this track. But happy so far, and hopefully the long run's just as good as the short run, but we'll see.
No worries, mate. Well, we've got another one to green, so we'll quickly ask one more question before we let you go and get delved into get concentrated and get up there. So how are you looking with fuel? For the viewers at home, when do you think, if we go green now until the pit stop, when do you think the first pit stops are going to happen under green?
I think so far I've got 60 laps I can do right now, so I'm probably expecting at least between laps 60, I would say. There's maybe 50 to 60 there'll be some pit stops, but sometimes you don't want to pit too early just in case there's that safety car that just suddenly happens. But at the moment I don't feel like there's going to be a long green flag run, but you never know.
No worries, mate. We'll let you get down and dirty as we're about to go green flag racing. I'll drop you down back into your team chat. Thank you for making yourself available there, mate, and best of luck for tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we see there Ruben Phelps from RP Motorsport making himself available there in the broadcast to be able to bring those images to you, as we have Josh Micklemore off the pole once again with Darren Mckenzie, outside row 1. We have Ruben Phelps outside row 2 with David Duran inside him in the 24 car as we go green again with Josh Micklemore having an amazing jump to the start, Peter.
Yeah, another restart, and Josh Micklemore, he gets off the line very cleanly, and you've got Mckenzie, Duran, Phelps, Douglas behind him. And another good restart, as you see them all cut, like we said earlier, and it is their responsibility. I'll just point out, mate, that if they do cut, while it is within the rules, it is their responsibility to rejoin the pack and do that fairly, as we got a nice clean restart from the top 10 or so. Riding on board with Darren Mckenzie on his bonnet, right now, and they're doing a good job. And let's hope, we're going to keep saying it, let's hope we stay green. And it's still plenty of racing to go, but Josh Micklemore doing a good job so far to hold off the rest of the field.
Yeah, 100% there, Peter. Josh Micklemore is a class. He is great at driving as we're looking at the 350 there, but we see Darren Mckenzie in second. I know we're not looking at him now, but just going back on Darren Mckenzie and what you were saying, Darren is really quick sometimes, and he'll be the first to admit he does struggle to be able to keep his tyres under him. So he's an amazing driver and he can cut really good laps. So it'll be really good to see whether he can keep that tyre under him and keep up with Josh, because Josh is a master of these cars, as we see Stevie Williams there just showing his pure class. But he wouldn't even be on newer tyres actually, because he just did a splash and dash. So we're going to see him. We've got Paul Jackson there in Adiora, as I say it, and I pronounce that wrong every single time, and he's going to pay out on me for it. Right in there behind him in the 231 car, as that goes really close with Jamie Nankervis, and we go 3 wide, and we've just missed that. So, they were going 3 wide into 3 there, but we've still got Darren Mckenzie really pressuring Josh Micklemore here for the lead. Darren's doing an amazing job. Hopefully he can keep the car under him, as we see David Duran there in P3 rather, Ruben Phelps in P4, Peter.
Yeah, and Josh Micklemore is, look at him, he's got the pressure on Mckenzie behind him. We all know these guys can race around ovals, and we've seen it heaps of times here at Weekend Warriors, and they're starting to just get a bit of a lead now from the top view. And there's the view, look at that. That gap is 2/10. That's what 2/10 looks like around this track, and one cuts, one doesn't. But they're definitely putting the pressure on one another. And he has another look there again. But awesome camera views from Track Cams for Gourmets. We give them a plug once more. But the racing's been up and down so far, but the guys they're going to settle in. We did say in the pre-show and the intro that it is a very tricky track, one of the most trickiest, I would say. But they're all doing a good job as Micklemore and Mckenzie are battling hard.
Yeah, they're definitely battling hard here, Peter, as we go back on board here with Paul Jackson from New Zealand, actually based out of Albury Wodonga in New South Wales / Victoria, depending whether you want to walk 5 minutes or not over the border. Paul Jackson's doing an amazing job there. He started at the back and he's slowly working himself up. He's up 8 positions into P15. So great job there by Paul Jackson, with Matt Payton behind him there I think that's Matt Payton behind him. Reese May behind him, who's just trying to make the move there in the 69 car. Matt Payton is in the 10 car in the black Activity Hub Barley racing car. So, really interesting racing here in the mid-pack at the moment. Hopefully these guys give themselves a little bit of room as we watch the car, number 18 car there of Jamie Nankervis on the outside. I'm not sure whether he's got a bit of damage or he's just trying to play the long game here, but he's falling back very quickly, Peter.
Definitely the long game, Aidan. It's definitely what they all want to be playing now as they start to... Oh, look at this. It doesn't look like they're playing the long game, but as we go up with these guys, he gets a bit sideways.
Schroeder. Michael Schroeder nearly put it around. Great driving there for Michael to be able to save that car. Oh, sorry, Dave Douglas. My apologies. Sorry, the cars look so similar, ladies and gentlemen. It's really hard sometimes to be able to identify who these guys are, but that was great driving by Dave to be able to save that car.
Yeah, and he's got Marwood behind him, putting all sorts of pressure on him, and he's got Anastakis behind him as well. So,
as we see a massive battle at the front here between Micklemore and Darren Mckenzie. Darren's putting a lot of pressure on that rear bumper of Josh Micklemore. It doesn't look like Darren wants to sit here. It looks like Darren wants to go and get in front. I did mention that Darren, and he will be the first to admit, as I said, sometimes he does struggle on burning up his front right, but it looks like he's got something under him tonight. It looks like he's going to try and make a move here shortly. Peter, what do you think?
Yeah, mate, I think so, and it's not a pack sort of racing. So he does want to get out in front and sort of race his own race. He's just Darren Mckenzie's just dropped back just a little bit off him, but you'll probably see him make a move. Oh no, further on in this lap, I think.
Yeah, in saying that, we're seeing probably what I've said now. It looks like he tried for a couple of laps to make that move there, and it really hurt his front right-hand tyre. But with these cars, with the heat and the aero that comes behind them, you can try really hard for 2 laps. But if you can't make that move, it's probably wise to just, especially on a track like this, where it's not a draft track, it's probably wise to just back off a little bit, let the car cool down, let that right-hand rear, right-hand front cool down, and then come back for another run. Because if you stay right up behind the rear of these cars and try and push, your car is really going to lose its pace over a long run.
And the long run, I think I don't want to put the curse on them, but I think we're at the start of a long run as we jump on board with Jamie Nankervis. Oh!
And we are under yellow with David Duran, and he was in the top 3 by the looks of it. We're on board with Michael Schroeder at the moment, but I believe that something there, David Duran, looks like he's got loose there out of 3 and put his car on the inside. That's not going to be good for his championship, because he's up in the top 3 of the championship at the moment.
Caution number 4, I think, Aiden.
Yeah.
Lap 37 of 145. I put the curse on them. I did say that I didn't want to put the curse on them, so I opened with that. But I'm going to stop saying that. I'm going to stop talking about our clean racing now. But there's another caution that they're all going to line up. They're all going to regroup. The cars that are having got a bit of damage.
As we see, sorry, Peter, there, Josh Micklemore looks like he's coming into pit lane. Let's see who's following him into pit lane as they transition through their pit stops. Everyone at the front is following. Stevie Williams is following too. So if this does go green to the end, Steve's in a really good position because he's got more fuel than the rest of everyone. But I need to make a really big shout out to Terry Marwood in P7, up 18 positions from the start. That is stunning.
And Paul Jackson up 22 positions.
We can't tell Paul that. We can't tell Paul that. He's in P1. But wait for it to cycle through. He's obviously doing a different strategy at the moment. So we'll see what happens with Paul. I'm really interested to see what happens with Paul here. I know he was mid-pack, so he obviously didn't come in the pits, but He's come in just for a fuel stop by the looks of it, and he's banking on another caution to be able to take his tyres. So sometimes you can't do the same thing as the leaders to try and get yourself in the win. So Paul's definitely put himself in that window. So he's going to be a driver, ladies and gentlemen, to look out for the rest of this race.
Yeah, the very, very busy pit lane rather for the first for the 4th caution. So, like we said earlier, I don't think there's going to be green stops, because as soon as this caution come out, they're all in the lane, and they're going to cycle through and get one of their stops done.
Yeah, definitely. And funny you say that. We want to know what Paul Jackson's thinking. I'm going to bring him up right now, and we're going to talk to Paul Jackson and see what's going on. We've still got another lap and a half before we go green. Paul Jackson, Aidan Schultz and Peter Gratton from the broadcast booth. Mate, have you got a copy?
Copy.
Mate, what did you do different there? You come in for a splash and dash, didn't take tyres, because you've got yourself right at the top here. It looks like everyone else behind you took tyres. What's your strategy at the moment? How's your race planning out?
Just sitting back. I know I don't have the pace there. I don't like Phoenix much. I pitted probably 10 laps before in the last caution, took the fuel then. There's about 10 litres worth there, so figured I probably don't need to pit now. Obviously the tyres are going to hurt a bit, so I wanted to lock in that bonus point for leading the lap, because as I said, I don't have the pace there, so get all the points I can get from the race, and I'll drop out of this and let these boys race and see where we finish.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, the lights are off the safety car. I want to talk more, but I'll get back on with you later in the broadcast. We'll let you get in and concentrate, but thank you for giving your time to all the viewers, and best of luck. We'll talk to you later in the broadcast, mate.
All right, thanks, boys. Thanks, Aiden.
All right, guys, there's Paul Jackson from New Zealand in the 231 car, actually Albury Wodonga, but we're going to go New Zealand. We'll move him back down into his race channel. Sorry, guys, as we're about to go green with Paul Jackson in the 231 car, Mitch Motorsports, Josh Micklemore with the 31 on the outside. Josh is going to have a lot better drive here, and he'll drive right around the outside of Paul here. And you'll see Darren Mckenzie follow him around with Ruben Phelps moving up into P3 in the RP Motorsports Hot Wheels car there into P3. So as Paul did say, he was going to really hurt on those tyres. So we don't know how this strategy is going to pay out as Darren Mckenzie points it down the inside and can't quite clear Josh as he goes. Here it is. Here is the move for the lead early. As we've seen when they go line astern, it's really important to get that move, and Darren's made that move now as Josh just opens that steering wheel. We've got Ruben Phelps in behind him, waiting to pounce. Ruben's the one to look at tonight. He is driving amazingly, as these two boys are at the front. But, yeah, we're only 42 laps in, Peter. I'm already losing my voice. Can you take over for a sec?
Yeah, mate, as we will jump on board with Josh Micklemore. He's lost the lead, but, you know, like we said, it's a long game, and he had a really, really good restart from that caution. And like you said, we're only 43 in. We've got 102. Darren Mckenzie leads him away. Micklemore behind him, and Phelps, as you said, he's definitely going to be the driver to watch. A couple of the drivers have had massive gains. Oh, look at this battle here for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Greg Spencer leads them around. So he's actually, he doesn't lead him around. He's second in this battle, but as he's going to make a move down the inside, is he going to get it stuck down here? And he is going to take the cut. Well, he's happy to stay side by side. It's not a two-lane. Oh, look at this 2-for-1 deal. He gets them both. I think that's a lap car, and he goes wide and lets all this 5 or 6 car train through.
Greg Spencer is driving a stunning drive tonight. He is now into P4. He just passed Stephen Williams. He's got Dave Douglas and Michael Schroeder behind him. It must be something about him in the track tonight, because he is driving sensational. Yeah, we've still got 100 laps to go, and there's a long way to go, but from where he started, he actually qualified pretty well, but he's driving a nice and steady race. He's got a really quick race car under him, so really good drive from Greg at the moment, as we're seeing Billy Hickey there, who took us on board through practice with David Duran, right in front of him, as Billy's going to try and go up the inside of David, as Dave's just going to try and sacrifice whatever result he can get now. He's opened the wheel, and they have done that really well to give each other some race room. So currently we have Darren Mckenzie in the front, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for Josh Micklemore. He will come back on Darren. Second place, Josh Micklemore. Third place, Ruben Phelps, RP Motorsports in the Hot Wheels car. Fourth place, Greg Spencer from Activity Hub Bali. Currently, as we are on, and we go into caution again as we're on board with Terry Marwood. And Jamie Nankervis is the one in the caution who is actually Terry Marwood's teammate. So, just lit him up there a little bit on exit. Crunched the EFT racing car into the wall. That's going to really hurt Jamie's night there, Peter. Yeah,
I think the way I seen it, Aiden, was I think he overcorrected because he was going sideways a little bit, and he might have been on the way or the process of hitting the car next to him, and he's overcorrected. And once it's gone, it's gone. So I've been hearing from the drivers all day in the practice sessions. But what I was going to touch on, Aiden, we were just on board with Terry Marwood before this caution come out. What a drive he's had tonight, up 19 positions. He's in amongst the pit strategies as well. He's made one stop. Definitely, I'm going to keep a close eye on Terry Marwood tonight, because up 19 positions, lap 48 or 145, he's so far stayed out of the carnage, and he's having a good night so far. He hasn't pit, though. I will make that statement.
Yeah, and that might actually help him later into the back end of the race. The fact that he can keep that car in the top 6 comfortably and still be able to run consistent lap times is going to help him out in the back end of the race. But as we've seen there, Peter, there's cautions, there's things, everything can play out. But we're also going to do another driver and get them up and have a chat. I've had a chat at a lot of these drivers before the race to see whether they want to come up and have a chat. So we love to bring different content here to you on SimShed Broadcasting and let you get into the driver's cockpit and actually hear what they're saying. So we are going to bring up Dylan Davies at the moment for a quick chat. So as we bring up Dylan Davies into the chat, we are going around in caution. Dylan, do you have a copy, my friend?
Okay, guys.
Hey, mate, thank you for making yourself available. Give the viewers a little bit of a rundown on how your race is going so far.
Yeah, a bit of a rough start. Very, very slippery out there. I don't think many people realise that. But yeah, just trying to hang in there. Just trying to hang in there. Trying to stay on that lead lap. Yeah, ready for that the final 20, final 10 laps to go. Charge.
I'll let Peter jump in a second as we go 2 to green, I believe we are. But were you expecting this many cautions coming into the race?
I think so, yeah. I think through practice, quite a lot slipperier than first thought there. Did a lot of practice during the week and it felt a lot more grippier. So, you know, during practice and a bit of qualifying, I thought, yeah, we're on for a long night here.
No worries, mate. Well, let Peter ask you a quick question before we let you buckle down and strap those belts down and go around again around Phoenix Speedway. Peter, you got anything to add?
Yeah, mate. I seen in practice and I didn't get on track. I didn't have the guts to because it is a tricky track. We all understand that it's one of the most trickiest tracks in the ovals. Do you expect it to be stop and start, or do you think you guys once the race progresses further that we may see some long green running?
We might do, yeah. You know, once the cutting starts, once the field gets cut, I think surely we'll see some long green runs, which will be really nice and settled in.
All right, well, we'll let you go back and concentrate there, Dylan. Thank you for making yourself available, mate. We'll just keep you on the channel for a minute just as we're about to go green flag racing here at the Cactus 350 for the Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing. We've got Darren Mckenzie off the front with Josh Micklemore, and Darren makes the jump early. Dylan will drop you down into your channel, and Peter, just take over if you can, please.
Yeah, mate. So another restart from the Weekend Warriors here. And it looks to be a clean one. Most of the drivers are going to take the cut from the restart. Darren Mckenzie leads the way, and Micklemore and Phelps is your top three. Spencer behind them. We're on board with the top two, and they look like they're doing a good job. There's a little bit of gap between the next group of cars, but look at this. Number 31 car is right on the back of the 02 as we make our way. I think that was the fifth restart. And that, yeah, so they're doing a good job again on the restart. Well, side-by-side battle. Who's going to make it stick? And we really don't want to sit side-by-side for too much longer because it is a one-line track, as we've been seeing. We want to get green racing. 199 gets that move done on the car 15.
Yeah, great driving there, Peter, and great calling as we see Micklemore, as I expected, making the move there on the 02 of Darren Mckenzie. It's on for the front as Darren tries to push out of 3 there and right under the tail of Josh Micklemore. That's going to make his car really light. So let's see whether Darren can keep the car under him here and see whether he can come back on Josh. At the moment, or as they both get really loose there through 1, it's going to be really good to see. Let's see whether Darren can make a move back, but it's still really early in the race. If this was me driving, I'd be sitting right in there behind Josh and waiting for 30 to go. But ladies and gentlemen, from Australia, New Zealand, all across the world, on SimShed Broadcasting, how great is this? We're watching some of the best oval races in Australia and New Zealand take on Phoenix Raceway, and how good is the racing, Peter?
Especially from the guys leading from the front, Josh Micklemore and Darren Mckenzie. They're doing really, really well. We're on board with the 263 car. Michael Schroeder has also had a good night. And he's got Terry Marwood. He's a big mover in the pack so far. And right up in behind him, underneath the boot lid, as they all make their way around. And they're all getting really, really close to that wall. And it's a bit nervous to watch, actually, Aidan.
Yeah, definitely. As these tyres go off, it washes up into that wall more and more. You do need to back off into one a lot more and try and rotate that car to get on the gas a little bit earlier. So we're starting to see those strategies. We're starting to see how drivers are actually driving the car, whether they're driving them too hard or whether they're going for the long run. So this is the exciting part about oval racing. People think they just turn left and they brake, or they don't brake and they go around, but it is definitely not as easy as you see here on the broadcast. There's a lot going on. There's fuel strategy, there's tyre wear, as you see Dave Duran there from the United States of America. And thank you, David, again. I need to give you a good shout out on the plug, because David is actually from the United States. So the time frame that these guys are running over there to be able to join these leagues is totally different to us guys in Australia and New Zealand. So thank you, David, for jumping on and supporting the Weekend Warriors League. And in doing that, you're actually in the top 3 in the championship, so a sensational driver. As we go back on board with Darren Mckenzie, really putting up behind there of Josh Micklemore, doing a great job staying in behind, but his car's going to be heating up and that front right tyre is going to be heating up. He's just going to have to back it off and see how this long run goes. We did talk to Ruben Phelps earlier, as we see Terry Marwood, who we spoke about earlier in the broadcast as well, doing a great job as he hasn't pitted already. So he's on an alternate strategy, and he's actually still got some really good car pace, as we see David Duran trying to make a move up the inside there. So Terry will probably be due to come into the pits in the next couple of laps, probably I'd say in the next 5 or 10, because we've had that much caution. But yeah, it's all starting to play out in front of us, Peter. We're not going to be able to keep up with it until we get to the last 40, to be honest.
And they're doing a good job. We're riding on board with this. I think it's a 5-car battle. There's different lines. How does he just... For the car number 15, it's Terry Marwood riding on board with him. I don't know if he hit that wall or he just missed it, but these guys, lap 60 to 145, there's plenty of racing to go. I'd like to see him, Aidan, just if I can be a backseat driver, just to calm down a little bit, and we'll try and get some long stints. But Terry Marwood is up 14 positions, sitting just outside the top 10 in 11th position, as we go back to Perry Anastakis and Reese May.
Yeah, and Parry's done really well at the moment too. Billy Hickey's on his lid. I hope he put his hands device on. Oh my God.
Big accident.
As we go back here and watch Billy Hickey from Meridian Motorsports, who gave us, push right up into the wall, and really unfortunate there from Billy. He did an amazing job giving us content in the practice session, and he was actually having a really solid race there. So that's really unfortunate for Billy. Looking at the size of that incident, that might be his night, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not what we want to see. Billy Hickey, we all know is very, very quick. You don't want to be on your lid on any sort of race, especially here. So we're under caution again, and Josh Micklemore doing an outstanding job. And also, I'll give a shout out to the rest of the drivers that had to avoid Billy Hickey there. They done very, very well to get around unscathed. But our sympathies to Billy Hickey. But the show must go on, and there's another caution, mate. And Micklemore and Mckenzie and Phelps. We cannot rule out Phelps. They're having a great drive amongst others.
Yeah, they are having a great drive, and while we're on the subjects of great drive, we have said earlier that we allowed a lot of people have allowed us to bring them up into their cars, and we're gonna do that under caution again. We got Reese May in the broadcast booth at the moment, and Reese is currently sitting in, if I can catch up, sorry, it's all changing. He's in the pits. So, Reese, if you do have a copy, no need to talk to us at the moment. Get through your pit stop. We'll talk to you afterwards. But we're seeing Reese go through his pit stop at the moment. Once he comes through, we'll bring him into the broadcast booth and have a chat to him how his race is going so far there, Peter.
Yeah, Reese May is just leaving the pit lane now. So very, very busy pit lane, as we said, probably throughout the broadcast, that they don't really want to do green stops, and they're proving that to us now, because that was a very busy pit lane. Yeah, so it's not the racing that we're used to, but we all are underestimating, not we all, but maybe me, underestimating the track, how tricky it is. I didn't get out on track today because it looked tricky, but it's proven it's very, very hard. You know, people, like you said earlier, Aiden, that everyone says it's left, but you know, I think this is caution number 6. It's not easy turning left, especially here tonight.
Yeah, definitely not, especially when you need to use a little bit of brake and a little bit of wise head on your shoulders as well. This is a really tricky track, Phoenix ISM. But anyway, we've got Reese up into the broadcast booth. Reese May, do you have a copy, my friend? Yeah, good, Reese. Thank you, mate. Spoke to you earlier. Thank you for allowing us to come up, or bring you up into the booth, rather, to have a chat while you're under caution. How's your race panning out for the viewers at home, mate? Give them a bit of an insight. I did see that you had a bit of an incident with the wall earlier in the race, but you seem to have settled down now.
Yeah, I haven't raced on this track for God knows how long, but it's not too bad. Getting off turn 4 is just hard. It's just hard.
Yeah, it is definitely tricky. You do need to be really, really gentle on that throttle. Currently sitting there, and I'm looking at the timing in P17. Don't know what it's looking at your end, because iRacing sometimes takes a bit to catch up. But I'm loving the pink and yellow suit and helmet, mate. Where's that inspired from?
Mate, when you come into pit lane, your pit box stands out.
Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. It's hard enough to find. So, yeah, definitely got to make it brighter so you can find it. And you definitely found it then while I was talking in your ear while you're coming into the pit stop, mate. But, yeah, best of luck for the rest of the race. Have you got any strategies going into the rest of the race that you want to let the viewers know? Obviously, your drivers won't hear this, so you can say whatever you want before we go green and let you go concentrate.
And that was my last stop. Fuel burns shit here. It's lasting forever. Saving some tyres because I know we'll get yellows towards the end, and I'll just see what happens.
Okay, mate, we'll let you go. So we're about to go green again for the Cactus 350 for Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing from Phoenix. Peter.
It's another restart. Look at the start from the car 31, but there's a battle just behind them, 02 and 06, as they make their way around again. Oh. I thought he was going to go into the wall there. Good drive, but Phelps up into second position now, and Mckenzie behind him. These top 3 are really, really pushing, and even the battles behind them. But look at this, how close these guys are. It's, you know, it is a stop-start race, but these guys, they're racing like it's green for long periods, and they're doing a really, really good job. Phelps, we didn't want to write him off, as you said earlier, Aiden, but he's having a really, really good drive.
Yeah, Ruben Phelps having a sensational drive. Got up the inside there of Darren Mckenzie as Josh Micklemore stretches those legs out in front. But as these guys settle down, we've got a special guest here that just had a little bit of a tumble in that brought out the last caution. Billy Hickey, mate, have you got a copy?
I've got a copy, mate. A very pride-stricken copy.
What happened there for the viewers, mate, as we're on board with Darren Mckenzie and then now David Duran from the United States vs. America making a move there on Greg Spencer from Activity Hub Bali Racing. Bear with us here, Billy, as the racing is hot at the front, and we'll come to you when we can, but it looks like it's settled down now. So, yeah, what happened there, mate? Looks like you just got a little bit hot into the corner, hit the wall, and then hit the wall again, and the wall seemed to win, to be honest.
The wall always wins at any oval track, mate. You probably know that. But honestly, it was just a momentary lapse in concentration. When you're focusing as hard as you are at these tight tracks and the car that's underneath you, it's pretty easy to lose concentration. And I was just watching the guys in front because, majority of the time you're trying to read them and what they're doing. And I remember I just didn't brake, and I put my foot on the brake and thought, I didn't brake, and I thought, I've saved it, hit the wall, came around. I didn't think I'd roll, but there we go, it happened. So unfortunately that sounded like done.
Yeah, very unfortunate there, Billy, after having a really strong car early in the race, inside the top 10 there quite comfortably. You gave up the time there to be able to bring the viewers a good lap of Phoenix earlier. So from me, Peter, JP, and all the guys at SimShed Broadcasting, we do thank you for allowing us to bring that content to the viewers, and condolences, if we say, on a unfortunate incident there, mate. But I'm sure you'll be back next weekend for Weekend Warriors for the next instalment, and we hope to talk to you then too.
Oh, 100%, mate. And I just want to say a quick shout out to my sponsors, obviously, Sim Blacks, Scorpion Racewear, Inside Lane Productions, Devon Stove Design, SimShed Broadcasting, of course, the best sim racing broadcaster out, Hickey Motorsport, and there's probably a few others there that I may have forgotten, but just a big thanks to the boys at Iridium Sim Sports as well for putting this great program together, and it's on to IndyCar tomorrow at Watkins Glen.
No worries, mate. I'll see you there tomorrow night. But until then, we'll sit there and we will keep going green flag racing here at Phoenix Raceway for the Cactus 350. And thank you again there, Billy Hickey, for making yourself available as we see David Douglas in the 199 Mark 1 Esports car up in behind David Duran. They're all getting loose here now, Peter, as their tyres are starting to go off.
I think you might see they're probably all holding off rather for another yellow flag, but they're doing very well, and Dave Douglas is in 6th position, riding on board with him now. But Josh Micklemore's got a gap of 1.2 seconds out in front, and he's probably loving it out there. But Dave Douglas has had a good drive, and all these guys mid-pack are now, their elbows are out, but they're doing a good job, and they are getting a little bit sideways, but the guys are driving really well, and they're saving their slides, and not much contact that we've seen in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, they're driving really, really great at the moment as we see Dave Douglas there up the inside of David Duran, doing a great job moving forward. And the next one on his target list is going to be the Activity Hub Barley car, the 29 car of Greg Spencer in P4, who I did mention earlier in the broadcast is doing a great job being there in P4 rather. I'll learn how to talk shortly, but P4, he's doing a great job there, and I think he's actually one to watch in this race. Don't be surprised we're not talking to him at the end of this broadcast as we see Schroeder, Stephen Williams, and Matt Payton nearly 3 wide there. Matt not really giving Stephen any bit of room there around the outside. Don't know what these tyre deals are. Steve's running it very high, so he's going for long runs here, trying to keep those tyres alive. As now he's going to look to send it up inside of the 15 of Matt Payton. Is Matt going to open that steering wheel? He does. He lets him go. There's not much he can really fight with there. So Steve Williams makes up another spot there, as I believe Matt was actually a lap down. So Dave Douglas, again, we're on board with, who's just made a pass on Greg Spencer. So Dave Douglas is now up into P4.
Douglas is having a really good night tonight as we go to a SimSnap.iRacing photography replay. And he gets down the inside. Oh, look at that. Plenty of race room. Gets the job done. So that was a good pass from Dave Douglas, Mac 1 Esports.
Yeah, definitely there, Peter. And the thing we need to understand here, viewers, is a lot of these guys run a lot of leagues every single week with each other. So there's a lot of respect between all the drivers. Obviously, sometimes some things can go wrong because it is racing and they all want to win. But a lot of these guys have a lot of respect for each other and talk to each other outside of racing. So really great to see them finally stop the cautions and have a bit of green flag runs as we about to head into that 82 of 145 laps around here at Phoenix. As Dave Duran nearly scrapes the wall there through turn 3 with Michael Schroeder up the inside there. So these guys are really putting on the limit as these tyres wear off.
and you just seen a very, very close call, but he managed to keep it off, and that's just, like you said, the caliber of the driving. And he's up into sixth position, Duran, and he's doing it not easily. He's got guys around him with plenty of pace, and sixth position with a stop-start race that we've seen tonight. It's been awesome driving that what we've seen, and this is probably the longest we've stayed green. 83 of 145. It's just over halfway done, mate. There's still plenty to go.
Plenty to go, and get ready to get your vocal cords nice and tight, ready to go, mate, because it's about to get loud in the next 40 laps. But you mentioned David Duran there, as I did as well. We saw him actually facing the wrong way earlier in the broadcast. So this is oval racing. You can make a mistake early, and if you keep your car clean, you can come back. So that is a really, really fine drive there from the young American out of the United States of America in the car 14. Greg Spencer's still doing a great job there in P7 as we're on board with Josh Micklemore with a 1.3 second lead ahead of Darren Mckenzie. We got Ruben Phelps there in a solid drive in third with Dave Douglas in fourth. Michael Schroeder, his teammate in the 263 Mark 1 Esports car, in fifth. The Mark 1 Esports guys will be working together tonight. They're doing a really great job rounding out the top five. And as we said, David Durand in P6, Greg Spencer P7, Stevie Williams from DPR in P8. We have Tristan Koch. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. So Tristan, on my socials or anything, let me know as we see Parry Anastakis come into the pit lane there in the 27 car. We're back on board now as we see Matt Payton in front of Paul Jackson in the 231 car. So, Peter, take us for a couple of laps.
On board with Terry Marwood. He's still one of the biggest movers, if not the biggest mover. He's up 15 position. He's got two cars behind him. It's been a very up and down race, but here we go. It's a long stint of green. I don't want to put the curse on him as I have done previously. We're on the bonnet of Terry Marwood, 166 kilometres an hour as he puts the boot down now. He's up over 200. We have mentioned earlier, it's not a flat track. It's up and down on the throttle. You do have the brakes in parts of the track, and it's tricky. It's very, very tricky. He's sitting in 10th position. It's a long game. It's a very, very long game race. But 88 of 145, and they're doing really well under the conditions tonight.
Yeah, they definitely are there, Peter. And I'm thinking, well, we're on board with Terry as he's got a different pit strategy and he's got some good tyres under him at the moment. Why don't we do 3 or 4 laps and turn up the noise here and sit in and see what it's like to do a couple of laps around Phoenix Raceway in a Cup car.
on board with 31. And they're doing good. And good shout out to Track Cancel Gourmets for them awesome static shots. And it'll run through Josh Micklemore, Darren Mckenzie, Ruben Phelps, the top three. They're doing really, really well to keep it green at this stage. As I said, I've had bad luck with the commentator's curse tonight, but let's run with it. Dave Douglas in Mach 1 Esports right on board with him now. Up ahead is the battle. Look at the bonnet view from them. He can see it. It's definitely not a two-line track as they just pull their heads back in now and they go around lap 95, 145 to go. 50 laps.
Yeah, sensational drive here by Dave Douglas there, Peter. Amazing vision as we went on board with Terry Marwood. Unfortunately, he got a little bit loose there, but you got an idea of how hard it is to struggle these big tanks around the little short track. Well, we say short track, but of Phoenix Raceway, as Dave Douglas is still on board here doing an amazing job, Peter.
Blokes and it's a tricky track. I keep saying it over and over again. This battle up that we're riding on board with now, it's heating up. We've got Dave Douglas leading that around. We've got the 15 car of, I've lost his number there. That's Terry Marwood down the inside. And he gets that job done as well. So that's a good move. That's another move for Marwood. And he's had a good night amongst all.
Yeah, Terry's just unlapped himself there, and this is the difference on tyre strategy that we did make a call in, and some people earlier in the broadcast, and some people were going to make different strategies as Steve Williams did earlier in the race, and we're seeing him there right up the back behind Greg Spencer in the 29 Activity Hub Barley car. So Greg's going to find it really hard to hold Stevie off here. Steve is a master of these cars, so don't be surprised we see Steve get up into the top three at the end of this, or at least pushing for a podium there, Peter.
Mackenzie's we just jumped on board with him. He's going to cycle through the lane to get one of his stops done, and it's I don't know how many stops these guys have got left. There's still quite a bit of racing to go.
This will be their last stop, Peter. So now Josh is trying to cover him off here in the 31 Mitch Motorsports car. So Darren's tried to do the undercut there on Josh. If we go green to the end, this is their last stop, or even if we don't go green to the end, it's their last stop. Unless we have 5 to go, they might come in for tyres, depending what the leader does. But that sees Ruben Phelps take over the lead there from Josh Micklemore and Darren Mckenzie in the RP Motorsports 06 Hot Wheels backed car, who was previously Mark 1. So he's going to run a bit longer here, but we're going to see him come into the pits here. He's trying to cover off. No, he doesn't. I thought he was going in, so he's running longer. Is this going to hurt Ruben Phelps in the Hot Wheels 06 car? Because he's running longer. He's going to lose a lot of time to these guys in front. Is he going to be able to come in and pit and have that strong car pace coming into the back 44 laps of this race to be able to fight for the win? So interesting move here by Ruben Phelps in the 06 car. Don't be surprised he's going to pit any time, but he's trying to run this fuel tank out as long as he can to then come back and run as hard as he can into the back end of this race. As we see him make a move up the inside, he's doing a great job under these tyres as a car blinks there in the background. And he's nearly lost it. So Ruben Phelps, watch any minute now, he's going to come in and make this stop. I'll guarantee you he's going to have to, because if he doesn't, he's losing too much time. And as I say it, here he goes into the pits. He's lost too much time. I guarantee you he's lost about 2 or 3 seconds to the cars in front. Josh Micklemore here in the 31 Mitch Motorsports car, doing an amazing job. He has got the jump on the field at the moment, and if this goes green to the end, he just keeps his eyes forward, he's going to do an amazing job and possibly take this win. I'm interested to see where Ruben comes out in all this, where Darren Mckenzie is. It's all happening. We've got the Mark 1 Esports cars all around Josh Micklemore at the moment. Ruben has gone into the pits, and Josh Micklemore now on Michael Schroeder in the 263 car. As we see a car go loose on the inside, it's all starting to happen here, Peter. I told you to warm up with 40 to go.
Like you just said, 40 to go, and you good call there too. By Phelps, you did call that Phelps would have to pit, and he did indeed. I wonder if he had a good out lap before he started to get a little bit loose, whether that may or may not. As we go 3 wide, almost one takes the dog leg, and the other 2 stay out wide, and they're starting to bunch up. And I think lap traffic might be coming into play, Aiden. But these 2 little groups that we had on screen just then, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars that you just seen past the screen. It's heating up. It's been pretty close battles throughout the night.
Yeah, it is lap traffic, but if we put it in layman's terms, it's not actually lap traffic because they're off sequence in their pit stops. So, and Michael Schroeder's just gone into the pits, as we see, for the Mark 1 esports car, as we're on board there with David Douglas in the 199 car. But going back to what you said, Peter, they're just off sequence. So these guys are coming in. Some people have pitted earlier, some haven't. So they're not unlapping themselves. They're trying to fight for that position because they want to have that track position for when they come into pit and come out on those fresh tyres. But now we're pretty much going to be cycling through the final of these pit stops if we go green flag to the end, as we stay on board with the Mark 1 esports car of Dave Douglas in the 199 car. We've got Ruben Phelps in front. Oh, Dave Douglas so close to the wall there, as we see. And Ruben is moving forward from Dave Douglas at the moment. So I've got to have a look at the timing, and I'll let you take over. I'll have to go have a look at the timing, but Micklemore is 1.5 seconds faster at the moment and doing a great job, but Ruben's pitted later, so we'll see whether he can make up the time and see where Dave Mckenzie is. But Peter, I'll just go back, have a look at the timing, and get ready to settle down for the last 30 laps of this. I'll let you call the next 3 laps and take the viewers around it before we are about to get noisy.
It's definitely going to get noisy. It's lap 108 out of 145. We're riding on board with David Duran. He's had a pretty good race tonight, and he's right on. Where is he? There he is. He's right on the tail here. I'm not too sure if these guys are all in the same pit sequence, but what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and run as long as they can green and see if they're there at the end. And we spoke earlier in the intro and further earlier in the broadcast that it's all about being there in the end, the last 10, the last 15 laps.
And what I'm seeing here, Peter, sorry to cut you off, is we've currently got Dave Douglas in P1, Steve Williams in P2, but it looks like they're running longer at the moment. So I think they might have another stop to do. Same as Paul Jackson, Nathan Legg, Tristan Koch. They've all got another stop to do. So everyone you see in the top 5 at the moment along the bottom there still has another stop to do. I do not think they can get to the end. Paul Jackson, amazing job, up 20 spots. So in the box seat at the moment is Josh Micklemore and Darren Mckenzie, as they have been all night. Dylan Davies there in 8th, which is actually going to be 3rd when it all cycles out. So Dylan's had an amazing drive there, and he's sitting there in front of Ruben Phelps. I'm not sure whether Ruben had a bit of an issue in the pit stop or whether him getting a little bit loose there lost him a little bit too much time, as we see him there making a really big move down the inside, and he just took 3 cars through the dog leg there. So Ruben Phelps moving up really quickly. So in the next 5 or 6 laps, we're going to see this all play out and see who is actually going to be the leader of this race and who we're going to be screaming our heads off for at the end.
I think it's almost a certainty that Darren Mckenzie's going to be there. Josh Micklemore's going to be there. Paul Jackson, it looks like he's hungry as well. I think he'll be there. Ruben Phelps, there's, it's a roll of the dice. There's probably 4, 5, 6 drivers that are out on track. It doesn't look like in their position so far, but their strategy is on point in their head, and they're going to be there in the end. I think them drivers. We got Tristan Koch on screen now, the 550 car. He's currently sitting in 6th position. They're all starting to do their own thing as
Oh,
Mark
it's
Johansson's
Mark.
facing the
Oh.
other way. He's brought out the caution.
Yeah, unfortunately, this has been the story of Mark's night. Mark is the owner of the league, and he had an amazing win on the Anzac weekend at Talladega. So very unfortunate for Mark. He's been the wrong way a couple of times tonight. So very unfortunate for Mark, but I'm sure he'll come back and stronger next week. But he'll keep going and keep trying to get that result and get those championship points up and see how he goes. But currently under caution, this works out really, really well. Well, I don't know actually whether it works out well for Dave Douglas, because now he's going to go right back to the end of the train, same as Stephen Williams, who's following him there into the pits, as if they pitted a lap earlier. But a lot of guys are following. But yeah, this is about Josh Micklemore's gone into the pits. So he's gone in possibly to get another set of tyres. This is really interesting from Josh, because I think he's trying to cover off Dave and the other guys, Stephen Williams, because they're going to have better tyre wear. But as we see that, Darren Mckenzie and Ruben Phelps, and even who else have we got there? Sorry, Michael Schroeder. They haven't either. So, yeah, this is about to spice up, Peter.
I think so, mate. I think this is my take on it. The guys that have taken their stop, it's probably one over their maximum, or one more than what they need to, possibly. But I think this is all about track position. Get out of it and hopefully have a clean restart and try and they may be at the back of the field at this restart, possibly. But I think that's my take on it, Aidan. I think it's all about, for them, track position to get out of the restart, because we have seen some have started clean off the restart and some not. So I don't know if that's a good call or not, mate, but that's my take on it. I think track position for them.
I'd have to disagree that it's track position, because in oval racing you will always be put up to your position. So the guys that were leading or in 6th or 7th that were going to lead, if the guys in front of them pitted, which a lot of them did, as you see Darren Mckenzie rolling around there in 4th and Ruben in 5th under the pace car, they would have been at the front. So what I think they have done is they've watched the cars behind them, which they pitted about 10 laps earlier than them, and we were saying that Dave Douglas, etc., needed to pit again. So what they're trying to do there, I believe, and they'll probably correct us wrong when we talk to them if they're in the broadcast booth after, is they've tried to cover that off, because the seconds drop that they get on old tyres, they're going to be a sitting duck, especially with 30 laps or 29 laps to go. So I think that's what they've done, but what they've also done is put themselves in a position to get caught up in a wreck. So Ruben Phelps and Darren Mckenzie's in the box seat, but in saying that, I would be watching Josh Micklemore, David Duran. Who else we got? We got Paul there. He's on older tyres. Josh, he's in a box seat here. He's got, I believe he's taken new tyres, because we haven't had that many stops to take tyres. So Josh is in the box seat as we're about to go green. But that's my take on it, Peter. And sorry to disagree with you there, but that's what I think's happened. Stevie Williams has come in and done the same thing and taken tyres. And as I said, he'd be there at the top, as you see. No, that's not Stephen Williams. I don't think they're on the inside of the 3rd row. Not sure. Yeah, it is. It is. So I reckon Josh Micklemore and Stephen Williams are the guys to watch as we're about to go green. We're green now with Darren Mckenzie in the 0-2 for the Cactus 350 for Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing. Darren Mckenzie's got a great jump there with Ruben Phelps getting a good drive on the outside, being really pestered by the 2 Mark 1 inside as Stephen Williams goes into the inside and takes out Dave Douglas, as we're going to go under caution again.
Dave Douglas was sitting pretty too. I think he's not looking in the right direction. He was in a really, really good position, I think, Aidan, but that's unfortunate. Another caution just after a restart.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. Those 2 drivers are amazing drivers in these cars, and they don't usually wreck like that. So I don't know what's happened, whether Dave's had a steering malfunction or something's happened. It looked like that Steve just got right up onto the inside of him there and just tapped his left hand inside. So unfortunate for those guys. Looks like they might be out of the race. They won't be out of the race, but it looks like they're out of contention for the lead. But we do have Darren Mckenzie in the lead at the moment with Ruben Phelps. And as we have said, Josh Micklemore is on fresh tyres behind. So it's all about to get really, really busy as we bring up Ruben Phelps into the broadcast booth now. So, guys, we're bringing up Ruben Phelps into the broadcast booth. Ruben, we're under caution, mate, in second. Unfortunately, Dave Douglas, your ex-teammate, just had a little bit of an incident there with Stevie Williams, who right in there behind Darren Mckenzie, and Josh Micklemore looks like he's got freshies on behind him, mate. How are you thinking with 25 to go? You got something for these guys?
Well, I know one thing. I've got Darren covered by 3 or 4 laps. It's just, I think if these late cautions keep happening, I'm probably in the right spot. But right now, I'm sort of the luck of the draw if this goes green or not. Then I'm probably going to drop back, but we'll see here. But it's definitely, the tyres don't seem like it's been a big issue, especially after I seen what in that last green flag run we had. So it's definitely going to be the luck of the draw on this one. But I want heaps of yellows, but then I don't want heaps of yellows. But at the same time, if there's heaps of yellows, I'm happy where I am. So it's like, what do I do?
Yeah, mate, it's a bit of catch-22. We saw that Josh Micklemore, Steve Williams, obviously Dave, because he was off with a different strategy to you, came into pit. It really hurt Dave there, having to pit under yellow, and it put those guys back. Josh is on fresh tyres behind you. Is there a reason why you didn't come into pit there and just try cover them off and put some freshies on as you're at the front?
Yeah, I think the old tyres wasn't too much of it, or new tyres wasn't too much of an advantage, and I've been managing to save that right rear. So, because obviously with the grip, there's obviously hardly any winners, but now it's getting better. But right now, I think I only had 10 laps on my tyres, so I really didn't want to risk that set. At the same time, track position's a big thing, so yeah, sort of the luck of the draw, and let's just hope I can stay there. But if it does go green, I probably will end up losing positions, but we'll see.
Yeah, Peter's mentioned that in the broadcast too about track position. But anyway, we're about to go green, Ruben. Thank you for making yourself available to everyone here at SimShed Broadcasting and everyone from Australia, New Zealand, all around the world. We hope all your families watching there from New Zealand and supporting you, mate. And we wish you all the best on this green flag run, mate. Have an amazing time.
I won't make a mistake here.
All right, mate, we'll let you get to it, and hopefully we're talking to you in the broadcast booth after the race. All right, guys, there we go. We've got Ruben Phelps there from New Zealand for RP Motorsports, ex-Mark 1 Esports, who has been working well with the guys from Mark 1 Esports tonight, as we see Michael Schroeder there doing an amazing job tonight in P3. Unfortunate for Dave Douglas with that incident, as I can see him up here at the moment, and we'll bring Dave Douglas in to have a chat and see what happens with that shortly, as we see the 0-2 of David Mckenzie take the green flag. Ruben Phelps on the outside. Michael Schroeder, a great run down the outside. Josh Micklemore with green tyres is going to be one to really watch here, as we see Ruben hold on the outside there of Michael Schroeder. Josh Micklemore, great run on the outside. So Michael Schroeder might have struggled with that tyre strategy there, but he's doing good holding P4 with Stephen Williams P5. So let's let them settle in, but you watch out for the 31 Mitch Motorsports car. He's on green tyres. He's going to, there we go, he sends it up the inside of Ruben Phelps. So I got to say, Peter, we're looking at the winner, the 31 of Josh Micklemore at the moment. He's going to drive around them at the moment. Really good strategy for him to be able to come in and take those tyres. As it was with Dave, he was a little bit off with his tyre, not his strategy, but just he was off with the other drivers where they were, and it was unfortunate where that caution came out. But if he didn't get into that incident with Steve Williams, we could be talking about Dave. But in saying that, Dave, I see you up in the broadcast booth, mate. Well, these guys settle down, and before I'm about to lose my vocal cords in the next 20 laps. What happened there, mate? What's the take on that incident?
Yeah, mate, don't want to be here, but yeah, I was looking good for strategy there as Steve gets a bit loose there. But yeah, strategy was good. They had new tyres, but as Steve said, he hasn't been down there all night. And on the restart, I expected the cars to go down that way, like to follow the cars inside, and I've just turned across him. And look, it's probably more of a racing incident, and that's all it is.
Yeah, we get that, mate. It happens all the time. As we see, and we'll come back to you in a second, Dave, as we see Josh Micklemore take the lead now in the 31 Mitch Motorsports car, and we have 13 to go here at the Cactus 350 for Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing, brought to you by SimShed Broadcasting. We have Michael Schroeder there sitting in 5. An amazing drive from Michael tonight. Really great, really sensible drive from Michael. Great driver Michael is. He doesn't do a lot of oval stuff these days. He concentrates a lot on the supercar stuff and other road stuff, but he is a great driver and doing a really amazing job for the Mark 1 Esports team tonight in the Cup car here from Phoenix. We got Paul Jackson right in behind him there in 6th place. So, Dave, anything else you want to mention in relation to that? How did the race sort of pan out for you? You were a little bit off, not in strategy, like we can't say you got the wrong strategy, but you're off kilter a little bit with other people's pitting. That caution came out. I'm sure you would have wanted that caution to not come out probably and do it under green.
Yeah, no, I was absolutely. I needed that caution because I was just been tearing up the right rear. So, Mr. Wreck, I'll let you boys go back to it, mate.
Yeah, we come into yellow. Thanks, Dave, for making yourself available. Feel free to jump up after the race and we'll talk to you. But thanks for making yourself available. And as we go back to the yellow, it looks like it's Adam Ariel has got a bit loose out of 3, and just sent it into the fence. Oh.
Good drive from the green car. I missed who that was, Aiden. Sorry to cut you off, but he managed to miss that bit of carnage. I thought he was going to hit the inside wall there, but I don't think he hit it, and he got away unscathed. As we go under yellow again.
Yeah, we go into yellow with 15 to go. Caution laps do count here, so sorry if I'm cutting you off here, Pete. I get a little bit excited, so I do apologise. But we're under caution now. What we're going to do, I think, is just talk him around the caution lap. I'm going to bring something special up with 15 to go.
Been stopped. There's quite a few cars going to enter pit lane under yellow. We did say that earlier on that they're going to use their yellow as their pit stops.
Yeah, definitely will. And something a little bit special for your viewers here. And I spoke to Josh earlier and we've spoken to him before. And I've brought him up in the broadcast booth, sitting out at P1 for the number 31 Mitch Motorsports car at the end of the Cactus 350 with under 15 to go. Josh Micklemore, have you got a copy, my friend?
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Mate, I was a little bit surprised you went into the pits there, but then at the same time I'm not, because I was thinking track position, but then I knew you had that set of tyres and you could go and, yeah, what were you thinking there? I know Stevie W and Dave got into each other, unfortunately, and that, you know, you've done really good to transition up into the first place, but from your strategy and your tyre wear, I think you've got the car under you to win it. What are you thinking from the first place at the moment? How are you thinking you're going to go?
Yeah, it was my intention to pit then, because we did do about 15, 20 odd laps on those tyres. I thought, we'll pit now. I reckon we'll get a few cautions and just hope to hell I can get the first as quick as I can. Yeah, Darren and Ruben just pitted for tyres, so it'll be interesting to see if they can get back up. But we haven't done many laps on this set of tyres, so my finish, hopefully it won't be a factor too much.
Yeah, you've been showing a clean set of heels at the front there. Darren's been really pressuring you all race, and Darren will be the first to admit, and I've said this on the broadcast several occasions, sometimes he does struggle on being able to hold on to those tyres, but he's done a sensational job tonight to be able to be right behind you and actually pass you. And and make it really tricky. So he's done a really good job tonight. Is he someone you're worried about coming into the back end of this stint, or are you just going to have eyes forward and send it?
Yeah, we're just going to send it, mate. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far he can get up with the tyres. And yeah, just see how it goes, mate. But I'll be sending it for sure.
I'm sure you would, mate. I've raced against you a lot, and you always do. So from us up here in the broadcast booth, everyone around Australia, New Zealand, all around the world, we wish you all the best, mate. As we're about to go green, we'll let you go down and get focused, and we wish you the best.
No worries. Cheers, buddy.
No worries, mate. Best of luck. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the 31 car of Josh Micklemore from Mitch Motorsports. As we are about to go green, we have Stephen Williams in the 98 DPR car out of P2 on the outside with 13 to go. Michael Schroeder is the smoky in this one. You got to watch out for him on the inside in P3 for Mark 1 Esports. And Paul Blocker Jackson in the 231 on the outside of the second row. As we're about to go green here with 13 to go, it's in the hands of Josh Micklemore for the Cactus 350 Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing here from Phoenix.
A good jump away too. Another good restart from Josh. He definitely knows how to have a restart, and he takes them away. He takes the dog leg below the yellow, and look at him go. He's starting to get a nice handy lead. He's got 4/10 away from Williams and Schroeder. Schroeder, as you mentioned, a dark horse and very quiet achiever. Oh, no.
Looks like that's Tristan Koch. Was that Tristan Koch in the background? Oh, Reese May, Dylan Davies, as we go back to the I can't even talk. I'm not even going to say it. I'm too excited, guys. But Dylan Davies and Reese May, and then did someone else collect them on the inside? I don't know. Yeah. So we're still under green. We're not yellow. So we are running to the end as we go back to green. And we see there, they are still running. Dylan Davies there, but we're back on board with 31. Josh Micklemore, Stephen Williams in second there. It looks like Michael Schroeder with his tyres is dropping back as Darren Mckenzie has made a move. Look out for Darren. Darren's gone into the pits as Ruben Phelps did. So as Josh said, just then in the broadcast, he was worried about those guys coming up. As we come in with 12 laps to go, watch out for Darren Mckenzie and Ruben Phelps to put the pressure on Josh Micklemore. Steve Williams nearly in the fence there. So that's Steve's race done. He's just going to be able to hold on for the best result he can. Here we go. You're not going to be able to stop me talking. I'm so excited. Darren Mckenzie here. We have now under 10 laps to go. Ruben Phelps. Is Darren going to have anything for Josh Micklemore? Josh Micklemore said this, that he was worried about them pitting. So here we go. Peter, jump in before I'm about to lose my voice. As Darren Mckenzie hits the ball.
And also talk about racecraft, and it's all about tyres and having the tyres to the end. So those guys are, as Josh said, they are a danger hit to him. But also the racecraft with that guy, we just barely scraped in, avoiding the yellow. And the racecraft, as I was just saying, he straightened him up. And
Darren Mckenzie nearly loses it. Sorry, Peter.
It's getting loose.
All right, guys, so we get here now, and coming across the strike now, we have 5 laps to go. Ruben Phelps right behind Darren Mckenzie, moving right up on Josh Micklemore. This is a 3-dog fight for the end. You watch these guys get right up the back of Josh Micklemore. Josh has just got to keep his eyes forward and keep that car straight. Darren Mckenzie doing a great job. Ruben Phelps, don't write off Ruben Phelps, because Ruben's going to have a go when he gets there. So Ruben's right there behind Darren Mckenzie, and looks like we're under yellow again.
Yes. We'll go back and have a look at the SimSnap iRacing photography replay. See what happens here on board with Nathan Legg. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, looks like the car 11 there. Oh my God.
Wow.
got to hold the brake. Ladies and gentlemen, for you guys at home with oval racing, when you do have a spin like that, you need to hold the brake because people cannot see you. So very lucky for the 11 car to get away with that. Don't know if there's going to be any penalties after the race for that, but you definitely need to hold the brake so people can get around you. But anyway, we come back in and we are lap 141 of 145 with 31 car of Josh Micklemore from Mitch Motorsports in P1 with Darren Mckenzie out of P2 at the moment in the 02 car with Ruben Phelps in P3. But ladies and gentlemen, and Peter, I'm sorry, I talk a lot. I get really excited at the end. I love this about ovals that we've been talking for an hour and a half and we do not know what's going to happen. But I must say, Darren Mckenzie and Ruben Phelps are in the box seat.
Oh, definitely. And I'll just make a quick mention that this league, the Weekend Warriors, they do have a green-white checker. We have 4 to go. We're pacing around. And I don't know, I think, Aidan, we might do a shout-out to the sponsors as we go into 4 to go. Overlays, they're produced by SDK Gaming, and JP does a great job from SimShed Broadcasting. Track cams for gourmets for all the awesome track cams. Short Shift Sim Racing magazine. Go check that out. It's 4 to go. We're under pace car here at the for the Weekend Warriors on Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, absolutely amazing race by all the guys here. We knew that it would mix it up towards the end. We do have 4 to go. We are not going to go green-white checker at the moment. I'd love to bring someone up right now because it'd be great content, but I'm not. I'm going to allow them to just sit there and concentrate on their race. But as we see it here, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to SimShed Broadcasting here on a Saturday night for Weekend Warriors for the Cactus 350 from Australia, New Zealand, all around the world. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As we're on board there with Josh Micklemore, the leader of the race currently, we've got Darren Mckenzie in second and Ruben Phelps in third. Steve Williams in fourth, who will be up there too. Michael Schroeder having an amazing drive there in fifth, who's now dropped back to sixth with David Duran dropping over. You've got to bear with me, guys, because as they go over the line, iRacing updates, so do bear with me. But strap yourself in, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have a harness in your seat, go and buy a rope and tie it up, because we are 2 laps away for the most scintillating, if that is even a word, 2 laps of NASCAR racing you have seen around Phoenix Motor Speedway or Phoenix Speedway for the Weekend Warriors Cactus 350, brought to you here live on SimShed Broadcasting on a Saturday night as Josh Micklemore is about to lead us away for 2 laps to go in the Cactus 350 for SimShed Broadcasting. So here we go. They're behind the pace car here. Josh Micklemore has the field. We have Darren Mckenzie on the outside. Darren has better tyres. Ruben Phelps has better tyres in P3. Stephen Williams, not quite sure what he's got underneath him. Not sure that Michael Schroeder has much. I'm not quite sure what they're doing here. But as we're about to go green, Josh Micklemore has the field. As we go green, Josh Micklemore jumps early, and he is gone. Excuse me, guys, as I just got a frog in my throat. But Darren Mckenzie is there behind with Ruben Phelps. We have 2 to go. This time across the strike, we're going to have 1 to go. Ruben is up the inside of Darren. He's going to send it in a second. Looks like that Josh has got a good jump here, and he is able to keep this as Ruben and Darren. Oh, my God. So Josh Micklemore's got this as Ruben backs out.
There was a touch.
There was definitely a touch, and Michael Schroeder's now gone up into P3. What an amazing drive for Michael Schroeder. So here we go. Josh Micklemore, he's got 1 more corner to go. Darren Mckenzie's got a good run. All Josh needs to do is keep it nice and straight here and get across the strike. It looks like here's your top 3. But as we go through turn 3, the number 31, Mitch Motorsports car, Josh Micklemore into P1, Darren Mckenzie P2, and Michael Schroeder into P3. What an amazing drive for those drivers. Unfortunate for Ruben Phelps, who was trying to get that P2 for RP Motorsports, and into P5, I believe, was Stephen Williams. Peter?
Finish. What a finish. And I'm sure Darren Mckenzie, the hair stuck up on the back of his neck, I think, as he come fishtailing across the line to get second position. But Schroeder and Phelps, that last lap, little bit of a touch, but Phelps made it back up to fourth as well. May rounds out your top five. Aiden, stop-start race here tonight, but all the guys done well, and Hires definitely did sort of have a play because everyone was on different strategies. Josh Micklemore, well-deserved. He lights them up, and he's got number one. What a race. He really did lead from the front here tonight. Yeah,
he definitely did there, Peter. He led from the front. He did a different strategy there and come into pit. And as he said when we went on board, he was hoping for another caution. He got that. That worked out well for him. But Ruben and Darren were on the same strategy and they were fighting for that position. That probably didn't help him a lot because if they would have sat in behind each other, they would have been able to get on the back of Josh, and we might have gone 3 wide at the end. But amazing racing. I can't breathe. It's just sensational. That's what I love about oval racing. We might be talking an hour and a half ago as we see Josh Micklemore and Michael Schroeder and Darren Mckenzie sitting there beside each other. That's amazing from all those guys, as we will bring them up in the booth shortly. But anyway, we'll go to the unofficial results, and out of finishing P1 is Josh Micklemore for Mitch Motorsports. Darren Mckenzie finishes P2. Michael Schroeder, Mark 1 Esports in P3. Ruben Phelps in P4. Reese May, P5. Stephen Williams finishes in P6. David Duran out of the United States of America in P7. Paul Jackson in P8. Dylan Davies, P9. And Tristan Koch in P10. Peter?
Yeah, that was a very, very exciting race. That was your top 10. Leg in 11th. Marwood, very, very good race for him. He was up, I think, about 15 to 16 positions. Greg Spencer in 13th. Nankovic in 14th. Kobe Jordan in 15th. His teammate behind him, Will Jordan. Parry is in 17th. Nigel Patton in 18th. And Mark Johansson in 19th. And Adam Ariel rounds out your 20, his 12 laps.
And coming into P21, unfortunately, was Dave Douglas, who got caught up in that incident with Steve Williams. So very unfortunate, as you heard on the broadcast there. So Dave Douglas, who was on for a podium P21. Matt Payton, P22, 66 laps down. Mark Smith, 23rd, 71 laps down. Billy Hickey, who we heard from as well, unfortunately, who went on his lead, 24th, 84 laps down. Daniel Aguilera Bates, 119 laps down, 25th. Scott McClintock, 121 laps down in 26th. And Greg Dale in 27th. So there we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. There we just ran the Cactus 350 for the Weekend Warriors Cup car racing at Phoenix. And what an amazing race it was. We were so excited at the end of that race. It started off under yellow early, but damn sure heated up at the end of that race there, Peter.
Oh, it definitely did. It was stop-start, but they all, especially these top three, and big shout-out and congratulations to Micklemore for taking the race win. It looked very difficult out there tonight, but he kept his strategy, he kept his head, as well as Mckenzie and Schroeder. So that's, them three guys, especially, and there was Ruben Phelps. He had a very clean race as well. It's very unfortunate to see those guys DNF there, or the few guys that did DNF, but the top three, a big shout out to them guys. They raced and kept their head clean and their mind clean rather, throughout the whole race. What a race tonight. It went stop-start. It was hard to get a rhythm in the broadcast booth. I don't know about you, Aiden. You've done a good job. I was a bit stop-start, but as much to do with the race. But the top three, big shout-out, especially Micklemore. What a race he had.
Yeah, big shout-out to the top three. And not only the top three, everyone that participated tonight. It was a bit stop-start early, rather, with yellows. But ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching here on the SimShed Broadcasting Network, we have the top three drivers up here in the broadcast booth ready to have a chat and tell you about their race. And first of all, we need to talk to the man himself from Mark 1 Esports, Michael Schroeder, into P3, mate. Ruben and Darren were fighting hard there for P2 at the end. You had great strategy and you got a little bit of luck there, I would think, but at the same time, you drove an amazing race, mate. So how'd that race pan out for you?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think it was a bit of luck more than anything, mate, to be honest with you. It's plenty of... I was on the last two tyres there for a fair while, and I know Rubes and Darren had taken tyres. I saw Josh had taken tyres, and it was... yeah, I was just trying to survive, but just knew on that last restart, if I had just stuck with them, I had a feeling that Stevie Williams might run wide, and yeah, just got lucky with Rubes, who was great to race with.
Yeah, mate, from broadcast and from a commentary perspective, you had a pretty quiet race, but you're always at the front. I said on the broadcast, you look out for you because I've raced with you a lot and you're a really good driver. So I know you concentrate a lot on your road stuff now, and I said that on the broadcast as well, but you came in here tonight and you've shown a clean set of heels, and that was a really, really good result for you and Mark 1 Esports, and really great drive, mate. So from everyone up here in the broadcast booth, congratulations. And is there anyone that you want to thank tonight or shout out to before we head off to second place?
Yeah, look, shout out to the old man, mate. He's been teaching me a few things lately, so yeah, so still a lot to go, still a lot to learn. But we got them, we got all the guys in Mark 1. Davey for racing with me tonight. Unfortunately, Rubes just left us, but still feel like he's part of the team, so that's all good. And the guys at MLA Holdings and Mitsubishi Nichu Forklifts, great to have them on board and running around with us.
Yeah, no worries, mate. You got a good, solid team there, and it's great to see you guys be a part of this league and do so well. It's good to see those Mark 1 cars up the front. So congratulations again on a P3, mate, and hopefully next week we see you in the commentary box for another P1, 2 or 3 again next week.
Yeah, thanks, Aidan, and thanks. Well done to Josh and Darren as well.
No worries, and we move on to no one other but Darren Mckenzie in P2. Darren, have you got a copy, mate? Darren, are you there, mate? Are you ready? Are you good to have a chat? We can't quite get you there, Darren, at the moment. Yeah, got you there, Darren. Just turn your mic up a little bit if you can, but got it. Yeah, got a copy on you. So great drive there, mate. A little bit different strategy there. You had a really, really good end of the run there. You pitted later than Josh. I thought you and Ruben had something for Josh at the end. We did go on board with Josh with about 10 or 12 to go, and he was worried about your new tyres. Ruben sent it really hard up the inside of you there, and that probably ruined you two being able to get to Josh. But how'd that race pan out from your point of view?
Yeah, I knew early it was going to be save that last step for very late in the race. Josh was just way too quick, and I had nothing for him unless I had fresher tyres. So that was my only shot, and I think I hit the wall coming out of 2. That's what ruined my last run. I just had a bit of damage, and she was too loose coming off the turns.
Yeah, and what I noticed from watching the race and broadcasting, or commentating rather, not broadcasting, but what I noticed, and we run against each other all the time, and everyone does in all this different stuff, and you'll be the first to admit sometimes you do struggle with your tyre wear. And I was thinking, okay, well, you were very quick tonight. Maybe you might have dropped back, but you did an amazing job managing those tyres tonight. Was there something you did different?
Yeah, I was concentrating on getting into the corners slower and just maintaining the speed through the apex, and it's just all throttle control on the exit. So you're constantly thinking about the whole turn the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. It's really hard. I know that firsthand, and everyone around us knows that firsthand. I've said that through the broadcast, and go back and look at it, mate. Turning left is not that easy as people might think it is. So amazing drive tonight, mate, to get a P2. Really consolidates your first position in the championship. So great job, and we look forward to seeing you in the commentary booth moving forward into the back end of the series. But before we let you go and settle down and go and have a beverage or two, anyone you want to thank tonight for your second place?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the guys at Team Hyperdrive. They're always there, they're always supportive and willing to give help when needed. So big thank you to them guys.
No worries, mate. Well, thank you for making yourself available here for the viewers here. But now we'll move on to the winner of the Cactus 350 for the Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing Series, rather, Mr. Josh Micklemore. How are you, Josh?
Hey, guys. Yeah, pretty good. Thank you. Pretty good.
Mate, clean set of heels there. We spoke to you with about 12, 13 laps to go, and you were a bit worried about the guys behind, and they were coming for you, but I think that they were fighting a little bit to be able to get to you really helped you out there.
Yeah, I've seen Ruben getting underneath Darren. I think the dog leg there, and sort of gave me a little bit more extra breathing room, so definitely helped. But yeah, they were still keeping me very honest, especially those new tyres.
Yeah, it was an amazing race to be able to watch, actually, with Darren there, and he was really going really well, like right behind, and you guys were switching. You were pretty class above early, and for most of it, you were really fast at the front. Unfortunately, there, Stevie Williams and Dave Douglas got into each other for some reason or other. But yeah, it played out into your guys' hands, and it didn't play out into Ruben's. That's oval racing, and that's why if you go back and watch the broadcast, you know, we get so excited because we can run 134 laps, and it comes down to the last two. So amazing driver, mate. Amazing driving, mate.
Yeah, cheers, man. Yeah, you just never know what happens in these races, especially the last few laps. No, it was good fun. Good, hard, clean race with Darren as well. And yeah, well done to him on second and putting on so much pressure that he did during the race as well.
Yeah, it was great to call on. But Peter, I'll pull you in here to talk to Josh, the winner of the series, before we go across to the next couple of rounds for for SimShed Broadcasting. Peter, anything you want to add for Josh before we let him go?
Yeah, Josh, Pete here, mate. Hey, I did notice that on the restart, you nailed it. You led them just about nearly everyone. There was a couple that you didn't lead them away, mate. But I will make a point. Your restarts were on point here tonight. Is that something you worked on, or is that, I suppose leading in a restart, that's just where you want to be?
Yeah, there's a bit of experience there, I suppose, that sort of helped a little bit and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. Just Aiden said you got to send it, and I said I was going to, so that's what I did.
You sure did, mate. You sure did. I race against you every week, so I knew you were going to send it. But anyway, great drive tonight, mate. Sorry to cut you off there, Peter, but great drive tonight, Peter. Great drive tonight, Darren, and also Michael Schroeder. They're your top three for the next installment of the Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing Cactus 350 from Phoenix Raceway. Thank you, gentlemen, for making yourself available. Josh, just before you go, mate, is there anyone you want to make a shout out to before we let you go, sponsors, etc.?
Yeah, it's the Mitch Motorsport boys and BK Designs for the sponsorship on the car on the team. And if you haven't already, come follow me on twitch.tv/Mitchy31. I was streaming tonight as well, so if you want to see how I got it done, give us a follow and have a look.
You'll have to send that to me, mate. Is that the new one that you just started?
Nah, I've had it for about 12 months. I was having streamed for a while until tonight. So
no worries, mate. Well, we'll be sure to share that one across to everyone, mate. So get on and follow Josh Micklemore. He's a champion of stock car racing and racing in general, as is Darren Mckenzie and also Michael Schroeder and everyone that runs the Weekend Warriors League. They all come out and put on a show for you guys at home here on SimShed Broadcasting on a Saturday night, as we just go across and have a look what we've got coming up on SimShed Broadcasting over the next couple of nights. So on Tuesday night, we have the nationwide or NTS Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Super Series from 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. Wednesday night, we go into the Goodyear Auto Care Arana V8 T2 E Series from 8:20 p.m. I used to do a little bit of broadcast or commentating on that with JP, but that's a great series. And we had young Leonage have a win on that last week for the first time, which I watched, and he's 11 years old. So that's great to see that from young Leonage. And then we come back next Saturday night here on SimShed Broadcasting for the Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing from 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, ladies and gentlemen, tune in to all the action here on SimShed Broadcasting over the next week. We thank you for everything. We thank you for tuning in. Peter, we thank you. Anything you want to add before we close the broadcast tonight?
I enjoy every minute, especially commentating for JP and SimShed Broadcasting. Another good Saturday night, Aidan.
Definitely another good Saturday night. And thank you, Peter, for getting on board. We wish Zach all the best, who's down at Sydney Motorsport Park having a real-life call in real-life racing. Rather, we look forward to seeing Zach back shortly. Really excited to be able to anchor tonight. First time I've done that in the SimShed Broadcasting Network. So amazing to do that. Thank you, Peter, for being on board and helping me out. Thank you for JP. Thank you for everyone across Australia, New Zealand, around the world, everyone that's tuned in. This is SimShed Broadcasting on a Saturday night for Weekend Warriors. We thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week or on Tuesday for the next installment from SimShed Broadcasting. From Peter, myself, JP, we wish you a good night and thank you.